Joe Sullivan out of Kansas City, joined Jake and Gino group in March of last year, and worked my tail off for the last year, and have closed close to about 500 units now. And I just quit my job a couple months ago. So yeah, and just super stoked to be here and present this deal, which I flipping love this deal. So I'm just
Is there any story before we get into it? I'm going to shut up here and let you get into it. Is there any good to like fire your boss story? I love those just in case.
No, I worked there for 12 years. So it wasn't, it was good. I left amicably. So,
Joe, do you mind if I share a couple stories with the community before we get on? Because I've watched your growth. I've been to multiple events. So when Joe Sullivan says he worked his butt off, he was at the Manage Right boot camp. He was at the Buy Right boot camp. He goes to Money Mixers. And I think, the epiphany, we had a Movers and Shakers with Joe as well. So I would challenge everyone to go on the Movers and Shakers and watch Joe's show. That was an amazing show. But the epiphany that Joe had was his boss is a billionaire. His boss is making tons of money. Joe is working for his boss and making his boss rich. And the epiphany was, well, why can't I do this for myself? And I think sometimes we don't think outside the box. And what was great about it is you thought about it. You're like, I'm in real estate. How do I scale and how do I take it to the next level? And that's what happened in March of 2020. You joined Jake and Gino and you saw there are other ways to get into multifamily. It doesn't only have to be duplexes and quads and 6 units. You can scale larger. You need the education. You need the framework. You need the partnerships. All that comes with the community. But first you have to have the desire and the willingness to take it to the next level and to have that growth mindset. You want to add anything to that, Joe?
No, you're right. I watched the owner of the company I worked for build an empire, and I was helping him build his empire, and then just it clicked one day. We lost a big contract. That was my contract, and it clicked one day that I'm expendable. So I, we set out on a mission to go out and be my own boss, and we made it happen. So now here we are, and enjoying the ride. I am married with 4 girls, 4 daughters. 9's the oldest and 6 months is the youngest. So this is all for them, and just really excited to be a part of the community and present this deal.
Joe, I got 6. You got 4. Come on, I got the boy. I know you're gonna pull it through, bro. You gotta have another couple. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to 6 at least. Okay.
I don't think my wife's on this, so she's done.
All right, let's jump into it.
All right. Okay, so this is the team on the deal and the team that the Sharpline team, which is who I'm working with. You talked to Chris earlier. He's the leader of the group. Chris Jackson there. There's Marco. You guys know Marco well. Krista Testani. Nick Domenich. So kudos to this group. These deals, you can't scale this quickly and do deals without a team. So it's a team sport, and these guys all have their own individual superpowers. So just blessed to be on the team.
Amen.
Okay, so the deal, this is Main Street Apartments, 64 units in Warrensburg, Missouri. Some of the highlights on this one. This was a DTS deal, Gino.
DTS, Jake.
Yeah.
Did we define this yet or not? Maybe help the folks out here a little bit and go into DTS.
DTS, direct to seller, no agents, just me or us, the team and the seller, cutting out the middleman, cutting out the BS.
Got it.
We're also self-managing this deal. And then there's a lot of room for rent increases. And I'll get into that a little more in detail on, why there's such a big gap there. Also, we negotiated new roofs at closing. There was some hail damage, so we got new roofs. That was a bonus at closing. Was there
insurance involved there?
Yeah, there was an insurance claim involved. We had a good relationship with the seller, and he said he would do the claim and transfer it over to us at closing.
That is the golden nugget for the evening, everybody. You can do this. Actually, Chris and Colin and Chris this weekend were talking about it. At closing, before you go to closing, have the seller put in the claim and then transfer the claim over to Joe. So Joe saved $215,000 of that CapEx money came to him from the previous insurance. So that is take notes on that. That is massive. That is an awesome job, Joe.
All right, so here's a picture of one of the buildings. It's built in 2004, so it's a newer vintage, which we love. We love the kind of the B class vintage, 64 units.
Those steps decks, they're under that roof as well.
Yes, they're all under the roof. Yep.
Nice. I like that.
It's all 3-bed, 2-bath. The average market rent for 3 beds in this market was right at 900. There is a big student population here, so this is where and I'll get into this later, but the big gap in what their starting rent is. The average rent was under 750. There's a property next door that's getting 500 per room for student housing. So there's a real big opportunity. This is over half filled with students when we took it on. So there's just a huge opportunity to increase rents. There's a lot of different angles.
Are you guys going to do by the room, or are you just going to go flat 1,200?
Just flat 1,200. The reason we wouldn't normally do a student housing deal, but this one could be the P&L, the pro forma could be supported just on the 900 average rents. So we wouldn't do it.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's just a bonus on top of it if we can get that.
So Joe, would you call this a typical mom and pop seller? I mean, it's a newer asset. We love this in this part of the market cycle. It's a nice size, 64 units. It looks like it has some really good amenities. The parking lot looks great. The buildings look like they're in really good shape. Why was it so suppressant on the rent? Is it called the death spiral, where these mom and pop landlords, they just don't want to raise rents? They're comfortable with the rents that they're getting, and they're like, I'm not going to raise rents. Is that what was going on in this situation?
Yeah, he had owned it for 10 years. And he was just worn out. He was
self-manager.
Yeah, they were managing it themselves as well. And they had a leasing agent doing it. And he's a lawyer, and he just didn't know what he was doing.
Some of the best people to buy from, lawyers and doctors. Not hating on anybody out there, lawyer or doctor, but some of the best folks to buy from for sure.
Another really great thing about this deal, it's all sub-metered utilities, all of it, electric, water, the whole thing. So really
you got a gem here, huh? You got a beaut.
Yeah. Good broad resident base. I'll talk about why Warrensburg, but there's a military base nearby. There's a university, a state university, and then there's a Dollar Tree. I'm probably ruining one of my slides, but it's okay.
How's the Dollar Tree fit into the business plan?
There's a dollar. It's the next slide.
They're good for like the moving baskets, right? When the residents come in. Right?
No, it's actually a distribution center. The Dollar Tree.
Oh, sneaky.
Jobs. Yeah. So you can see on the map there, it's just outside of Kansas City. It's I'd say it's a tertiary market outside of Kansas City. Home of the University of Central Missouri. There's an Air Force base there. Moving on, I mentioned to Jake earlier, just now, there's the Dollar Tree. They're just pumping money into that distribution center. We actually are having one of their upper management move into one of our units on the 8th of October. So excited about that also. Pretty good household income. And it's also in an opportunity zone, which this one doesn't really qualify, but it's just good for continued growth.
Can I ask a question, Joe?
Yeah.
Is Warrensburg, would you consider that a market where people would go and work in Kansas City, or is it just too far out of it? Are there jobs that people can actually drive and get into Kansas City?
I do know some of our residents work in Lee Summit, which is like the first suburb on the outskirts of.
What is it, like 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the population of Warrensburg?
The population is 50,000.
Okay. And, $53K for median income is actually not bad, because that can support the $1,200 rents that you have going on there. So that's actually pretty good too.
Yeah, we're finding we're getting people who come and apply that want to move outside of Kansas City. The big city, they want to move outside of town. And so we're getting a lot of that. All right, so let's talk about the debt. So this is a community bank deal. Agency wouldn't do it. It's got too much of a student population for agency, which is fine. We love community bank debt.
What'd you say? It was like 50% student?
Yeah, it was over 50%. But we had a relationship previously with this bank. We'd done a deal with them before. They actually normally wouldn't go this far outside of their geographical range, but they made an exception for us. They knew our team, and
So did they have to go out of state, or was it just a different part of this?
Out of state, and they like to be within 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
They really have confidence in you guys to be able to do that. Then that's huge.
Yeah, so it's 80-20 loan to cost, which we love. Getting levered up on the CapEx also. 4% interest. 18
For the
months.
folks out there that may not know loan to cost, you want to just talk about that?
Sure. So the bank is funding not only our purchase, the purchase price plus the CapEx. We have just over $500,000 in CapEx. So they're funding that at the same interest rate of 4% as well.
Right.
It's 18 months. Sorry, go ahead, Gino.
No, I was going to say, on the three pillars of real estate, the market cycle, you're buying an amazing asset on this part of the market cycle. Love the vintage, love the year. I like the market, like where you are. The debt component or the exit strategy, I may be jumping ahead in slides here, but I'm looking at the debt right now. So when we're figuring out debt, what is your exit strategy here? Is it to refi to agency? Is it refi to back to community? Is it to reposition it and to sell it? What are you guys thinking?
You're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah, give him time, Gino. Let it marinate. All right, let it marinate.
No, but that's a good question. So this was a syndication as a 506B.
Okay.
But this is a long-term hold. We were really clear. We underwrote it for 7 years, but we were very upfront with everybody that this will be a long-term hold, and we are going to refi, and we're going to hold this as long as we can.
Stenzi, there's a reason why.
So they get an offer for $90K in a couple months, and they're like, "Well, we intended to."
Stenzi, the reason why I'm jumping ahead is because I want, when everyone underwrites the deal, the first thing that should come to their mind is obviously the three pillars of real estate. The market cycle is truly important, but what is your exit strategy? And you don't have to stick firm to the exit strategy, but with their idea of, let's say you have a Stenziano where you're like, hey, I'm getting 90 a door. You want to be flexible where the debt will allow you to do that, right? You don't want to get long-term fixed rate financing on a deal if you're going to flip it out in 2 years. So the fact that
I'm looking at that bottom bullet right there is all I'm saying. Like that's
Yes.
stranger danger. No prepayment.
Yes. Yes.
We've actually talked to the lender, came out and took a look at what we've done on the property, and we talked to them about refining with them. And we don't mind staying with them, and we think we can get most of our capital back.
I'm probably going to jump ahead the slide again, but when you do refi, are you going to pay off all the investors, keep them in the deal, and just continue to work along?
We will invite them all to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So
excellent.
It's if they want out, I'll buy them out. So
they're probably going to want to stay. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to want to stay. I mean, they're going to get their money back, and it's going to print money for
that's awesome.
A long time.
Promise, no more questions. I won't jump ahead anymore. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but to Jake's point, the no prepays, I mean, that's a great benefit of the community banks, agencies. Obviously, there's a prepay.
A nice little IO right there as well.
Yeah.
Like that.
So this is, like I said, is a 506B. We're doing monthly distributions, 9% plus cash on cash. It's going to do better than that, but that's what we presented. 2+ equity multiple, like a 7+ year, and I'll emphasize the plus on the hold.
So would you say you're under promising and truly over delivering? Because if you actually write down what you're going to do, if you put 15%, people are going to think you're crazy, and they're going to think you're not going to be able to do that. Correct. So is that why you're putting 9% plus?
Absolutely. Yeah. Under promise, over deliver.
So someone's asking here, is a community bank the same as credit union? No, they are not the same. And Tony Castronovo, this is a recourse loan. This community bank is doing recourse, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. All the principals on the deal signed on the loan. So, our necks are on the line if something goes wrong.
We got some other great questions here. Do you have to provide an itemized CapEx budget to obtain LTC debt?
Yes, you have to provide itemized. we're fortunate to have a good relationship, and we've had to modify it 2 times already.
Mhm.
So they've allowed us to go back to the drawing board when we got in and realized that we didn't want to do as much interior work,
Mhm.
and we wanted to take an outside in approach.
Mhm.
So we got the roofs done. We did an asphalt overlay, so we redid all the parking lots, and really started on the outside. And so we moved some.
So
of the
that was
money.
after you guys already had worked on the parking lot, that first picture then.
Yeah, that was a new.
looked-
That's
yeah,
a brand
looked good.
new spanking parking lot.
So my CL smoothing drinking buddy over there is asking about. He always talks about having a capex budget. And I mean, listen to Jake when Jake talks about this. It's important that you create a budget on the front end, whether you're doing loan to cost or LTV. You should have an itemized budget for whatever you're raising capex funds for. Or even if you're doing your own deal, you want to go into a deal crystal clear, knowing that, let's say you're paying $67 a door. How much more are you going to spend on this deal? It's very, very important. So I would provide one of those for whatever deal you're doing. It's truly important. And one more question. Is there any worry about higher interest rates when the 5-year fixed period is over?
We plan on refining before 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'd say
I
you're
would
24
say you
months.
could even push them down. Well, you guys, honestly, I mean, you got to give somewhere sometimes, but in this environment, you could probably refi and lock lower, especially
Mhm.
after showing performance on this property.
Mhm.
I think 3.5, 3.75, depending on where things go, but in this current environment would not be unrealistic
Mhm.
refi with a community bank, especially if you guys are, showing out with it. So, see where 6 months, 10 years up right now and things are moving, but who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the upside, like I talked about, I probably already ruined all this from my earlier slides, but yeah.
I helped you a little bit. So,
so the market rent for students is about $500 a room. So that would put us at $1,500. So there's a big opportunity there. The picture you see there, we did do like a pop unit. So we did new floors, we painted the cabinets, and resurfaced the countertops. We're getting 1,000 for that unit on the market. That's not a student rental. We're getting that now.
Hold on. So let me understand this then. Do you have 2 different pricing categories for student versus non?
This is our first test. So this is
you just wanted to see, can we hit 1,000 and then from here on out they're 1,200? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mentioned, new parking lot. We upgraded some of the kitchens. There's a pool. There's an indoor pool, which is kind of unique. And we're upgrading the indoor pool. We're getting it up and running. The previous owner had it shut down.
Explain this on a 67 unit. What the hell is an indoor pool doing there? And what is it, like a big leasing center? What are we dealing with?
There's no, yeah, it's just a indoor. It's just the 17th building. They put in an indoor pool.
Like a lap pool, or do you got a picture of this thing? Now I'm getting like way thrown off here. All right.
No, it's not that big. It's not a lap pool. It'd be like one you see
like
at
a little jacuzzi kind of thing, or
like something you see at a hotel, like at a Marriott.
Okay.
See, you have to understand, a developer built this probably and said, this would be a great idea.
He started off thinking it was a hotel, and then he pivoted, right?
Yeah, but for 64 units, it's one of those things where if you're going to build new, I wouldn't do it. If you have it there, and they probably thought that Gino was going to be living in this area swimming, and he needs the water to be 82 degrees indoor so you can swim all year round. So that's probably why you've got it there. So don't get rid of it for the Ginos of the world, because I can't swim in water less than 82 degrees. So that's really important.
Is it working?
It's not. The previous ownership didn't have it up and running, so we're going to.
What are you going to do? You're going to get
it up and running. And it's going to be an added amenity.
Joe, this is a great question. Are the students housed in a separate building, or are they commingled with the regular tenants? Thanks, George.
They're commingled. It's it really is like almost about a 50-50 mix.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are like, I would say, like upperclassmen and like even graduate students.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them that we get in this property. There's very few. I've only seen a few that are younger.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so you resurfaced, put some LVP down, new hardware, and then you had some good solid wood cabinets. Bam, there's an extra 300 400 in rent going to more than that because you're going to hit 12. You have one marketed for 1,200 yet?
We don't. We're waiting for the kind of the next round of students that will start looking.
Oh, so you can have the wave. I got you.
There's a wave in the it's like a leasing season. I mean, it's like a normal leasing season. It's June and July basically, but it's really intense at this property.
Oh, so you also added Nest thermostats. I see there.
Yeah, we are adding that to these. Yep.